Hello, and welcome to the official Hacks podcast from HBO Max and Same Boat Studios. Me? I'm Lucia Aniello, co-showrunner and co-creator of Hacks. Joining me are truly just my best friends, the other Hacks showrunners, creators, and pit mamas, Jen Statsky and Paul William Downs.
Hello.
And later, we'll be joined by a very special guest, our soul sister, Hannah Einbinder, who plays the one and only Ava Daniels.
Our series finale is entitled Hacks. It was written by the three of us and directed by Lucia. This episode starts with a series of wins. The diva opens for business, and Ava starts working on the pilot for her new show, Who's Making Dinner.
You want to call her?
Sure, yeah.
Sound speed!
And action.
But things take a turn when Deborah breaks some bad news to Ava.
The mask that I had removed, it looks like they didn't get it all, and unfortunately, it's spread.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have doubled up all those years on the Deborah Vance progesterone drink packets. That Tahitian grapefruit flavor was divine.
Deborah and Ava travel to Paris to have one last debaucherous time together.
You have to do hard drugs with me. Probably Molly.
Okay, sweetie. We could do an 8-ball, if that would make you feel better.
And they both grapple with what they mean to each other and what life is really all about. Isn't that true, girls?
That's so right.
It's almost
exactly
hard.
what you just saw.
It's almost hard to even hear it.
I know. It is hard to hear that. And we did pitch this episode in the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
There were certain elements of it that were different. I'll give you one.
Okay.
They were going to go to Venice as well. Venice was going to be another place that
Oh, yes.
Deborah said, as she does in
Episode
season
305.
305, thank you. She says, oh, if you've got to see Venice.
You've got to have real bread and see the canals of Venice before they're underwater. And we're so sorry, dear listener. We did try to go to Venice, but it just
It was never in the
happen.
cards. We scouted locations
Oh,
in
yeah.
Paris.
Summer of 2025.
And then we were supposed to scout Venice, and there was an air traffic control strike in France, and so our flight never left. So we didn't even get to scout it. And then it turned out we couldn't afford it anyway.
That's right.
But that's okay, because it allowed us to have more time in France, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
Although, seeing them on the canals of Venice and eating a big bowl of pasta would have been really fun, too.
It really would have been nice, but,
Yeah.
it's okay. I've never been to Venice.
And it seems like you're
And
never
Lucia-
going to go.
Lucia was born in Italy, we should just
Yes.
say. I'd love to bring you to Venice.
Okay.
You haven't lived until you've seen the canals of Venice.
Well, I feel I did live in the making of this show.
I agree.
Oh,
What
there
a
we
joy.
go. What a joy.
What a joy.
Pete Hammond said to me that his wife does right-to-life work.
Mm.
And he was like, I haven't ever seen it explored in television.
Oh, wow.
So this idea of right to life, of ending your life with dignity and choosing if you are
Mm-hmm.
suffering from something to end your life. He said it felt so Hacks to explore that.
Mm.
And it does feel like something that both Deborah and Ava would probably advocate for. But when it comes to someone you love, it's really hard. It's harder to uphold that.
Right. It's never been in the position. But yes, I imagine a loved one coming to you saying they want to make this decision. That's very hard to stand by them.
We've really felt like the reason Deborah would want to do this, and she does explain it in so many ways, but it really is about control.
Yes.
She is somebody who likes to control everything. She likes to control the narrative. She likes to control the way she looks. She makes sure the paparazzi are getting her good side and that she gets to touch them up. Like, she's so about control. And so when it comes to her end of life, she wants to have control over that as well. And it's really challenged by Ava expressing her love for her. Like, I love you so much. Please don't do this to me. And even that is not as powerful as her want for control. And then when it comes to this moment towards the end of this episode, when she realizes that creating with Ava and writing with her, writing comedy with her is so fulfilling, it is life-affirming. And so that is, I think, our point, which is that writing together can be so powerful, and creating together with people you love can be so overwhelmingly powerful that you're willing to give up almost everything. Now we'll be joined by a very special guest, Ms. Hannah Einbinder, who plays, have you heard?
Good.
Ava Daniels. Hi,
I'm Ava
Hannah.
Daniels. What's up?
Hi, Ava. I mean,
Hi.
Hannah.
Whatever. She's here.
I mean,
Bring
she's
her
with us
in.
always.
Ladies and gentlemen, bring her in. Ava Daniels.
Our series
she did.
finale, can you believe it?
No.
It's called Hacks parentheses finale.
People are here now listening to the pod as their final lifeline. They are here
They
to
need.
process together. To
This
be
is
a part of
aftercare.
this. This is aftercare. This
You
is
know what I
aftercare.
mean?
It is.
They're saying this is our last chance. Maybe they'll tell me it's not over in this pod.
And in a way, it's not. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the next
38 minutes.
Yes, or however
Yeah.
long this podcast ends up being. In fact, maybe we'll just do a white noise machine at the end, and you can let it go. You can let it go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
We'll
gonna
just pop in some ads every now and again.
I'm just going to invite some folks listening right now. If you're inside, if there's any way for you to go outside, pop them shoes off, get them dogs in the grass. You know what I mean?
ground yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of ground. I know some people will be in the car. Hey, honk, honk, give us a little honk.
But roll down the windows and open up that moonroof.
Absolutely. Roll them things down. Feel that shit on your fingers. Put your head out, dog style.
You're going to have to commune with nature if possible.
That's
Doggy style's my
100% the.
favorite.
And by the
Yeah,
way, I
in the
mean, yeah, 100%. Go. You got to go doggy style in the car.
Yes.
Because this is, an ending synonymous with the damn death.
Say
So
that.
ashes to
Endings
ashes.
are hard. Endings
Dust
are
to dust.
hard.
Endings are really hard.
That's a fact.
But where one story ends, a new one begins. And what is that new story?
the movie, the Hacks movie, and we have the plot right here.
Well, just to be honest, we all have been grieving, and we've been grieving for a couple months now, since February, I'd say.
I've been doing it for a year. No problem.
That's true. You
Yeah.
kind of were grieving even season 4.
Which is healthy, I think. You were really like taking in every moment, right? I mean, why don't you talk about that? Why don't you talk about what it was like to wrap a set or finish a scene or say goodbye to a guest actor?
I mean, first of all, literally no exaggeration. There is not a single day on the set of Hacks that I've taken for granted. Not a single day of our work together has been lost on me. Just how lucky I am and how special it is and was and will continue to be. And because of that, as the end approached and grew nearer, because I always knew that it would be 5 because you guys set out to do 5. And after the success of our show, it looked like we were going to get to do what we wanted to do for as long as we wanted to do it. I was able to kind of dole out that energy. And as, season 4 came to a close, it was like, wow, we're approaching season 5. And even early on in those episodes, like just knowing that it was like my last first day with everybody, like all of those things started to really stick out to me. And it was incredibly emotional. Y'all know I'm a crier. I mean, that's, ain't nobody listening to this goddamn thing don't know that.
Now, let me interrupt and ask, have you always been a crier?
No. Maybe I was as a kid a really big crier. As many will be familiar with, I had like a very numb period of my life when I was taking a lot of Adderall in high school and college. Prescribed, but it did change my emotional disposition a lot. And then, I kind of got access back to a lot of my inner truth and my real sort of emotional makeup. And at that point, I became more of a crier, but also like in having to access my emotions for work, that it definitely opened a valve in me. Especially, as you guys know, famously the Reiki healer that I saw while we were on strike.
Oh, right.
Who opened my throat chakra, and then we came back to do the finale scene in the living room, season 3. I went there once and I walked out different. She helped me to access something that was locked up inside of me. And I frankly attribute it greatly to my ability to perform in that scene in Deborah's living room.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's very generous because I think you could have done it no matter what, but
God
that
bless
is very
you.
sweet.
God bless you. Really what she helped me to do was access my rage.
And it's not gone away. It's been, you gotta put it
I've
back
been
in the
upset.
bottle. Yeah,
I've been
she's
upset.
screaming at us all.
Hannah's clenching her fist right now.
Oh
You
my
can't
gosh.
see, but
She can barely drive in the city of LA now. No, you don't have road rage.
yeah. So you were ahead of the curve in terms of grieving the show ending in a way that I think is good for you. And I wish
It's so
I had been
healthy.
so had the
You guys were
foresight
busy.
to do
You
that.
guys were super busy. You guys had edit, color, sound, all that stuff.
We tried to appreciate.
Yes, we
our
definitely
time.
appreciate it every day.
Of
We
course.
did say often how lucky we
But you
were.
guys don't just go like sit between setups. You know what I mean? Like you guys are
Right.
still working. So I'm kind of sitting there and I'm, do.
She, for those listening, will probably know that she is referencing the score of the show. Beautiful.
Oh,
Okay, that was good.
wow.
So in this episode, Ava goes on quite an emotional journey.
Oh my gosh.
We all do, the audience. This episode was really hard to edit just because it's like a very deeply emotional episode. Emotional both in just what happens in the episode, but also the fact that it's the last one is really sad for us.
As we record this, I have not yet seen the finale, but I can tell you, like, I remember so vividly what it felt like to make it. And, you know, I mean, I feel like you guys were crying on the day too. Like,
yes.
Definitely.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's something meta about the whole show, right? It's
Yeah.
like you guys have poured your emotional truth of loving your collaborators and the type of love you share with your collaborators into this show about that thing. And you know the stakes emotionally, and you have that connection to it, and you have that connection to me, and I have it to you, and it's real.
Mhm.
And it's all really real.
Yes.
And talk about aftercare. I mean, we've been discussing it extensively, like how I'm going to see the finale, like in what
Yes.
conditions. And I think
Yeah.
we landed on daytime,
Yeah.
Tacos after.
tacos after,
And with a small group of
with
Yeah.
us, just
loved
basically
ones.
Probably the four of us.
the four of us. And I was thinking about the beginning of episode 10, where there's the beautiful wonder that, of course, real heads will know, mimics the opening of the series. And I was thinking about that. I was shedding a damn tear.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, I get moved at the moment you say and action and the Hacks title card pops up. It's just like it's really that really gets me.
Also,
I love
I
that
mean,
song, too.
you're also almost crying in that moment. And it
course.
feels like Ava is almost crying because she's so happy, which is so sweet. I love that for her. And that's part of what makes me emotional. And
Yeah.
as I'm crying now.
She did it.
Is that like I'm so
Yeah.
proud of her, you know?
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
There's going to be tears. In the pod, which
yeah,
people can't see.
100%.
They can maybe hear.
But just splash some water in your face. And now you kind of get an idea of what is going on over here right now.
Oh, they're holding hands. As I describe this, we are the three of us
you.
naked on the same beanbag. Lucia's outstretched her hand to our guest who's in a blue chair.
Hey, HR, you're not gonna get us now.
We don't pressure.
Got
unless
away
it's
clean
asked
on
for.
your
What's going to happen to the beanbag now that the podcast is done?
I know.
Does
We're
it
gonna
get
go
like
on it up.
Smithsonian?
I run hot,
and we're
so I
gonna
don't want anyone to
donate
have this
the money
beanbag.
to Greenpeace. This is the Hacks nudity beanbag.
You're gonna auction it off so it can be fully appreciated and sniffed. Now, I don't know what the now is. Now is for some segue, but I don't really know what it's for.
You know, you first got the script before the table read.
Did you read it before, or did you read it? Yeah, she read it cold.
you were fresh in the table
Good
read?
for you.
Read it cold.
Okay,
Oh,
you are not only a
wow.
very talented actress and a very funny comedian and writer yourself. The fact that you can do cold reads like that is really. I'm like,
Yeah.
It's
I got
Hacks,
to be
baby.
sounding out the words beforehand. You know, that's
No,
really
it's
good
Hacks. The shit flies off the tongue.
You didn't know how it ended.
No, and I never know. I never know what y'all are.
I never
up to.
know. I still don't know.
I never
Well,
know.
famously, Hannah, do you want to recount reading the end of season 2?
Yeah,
What
of
happened?
course, folks.
Oh, man.
You'll all be happy to hear that I thought I was fired for real. And yeah, I texted Paul, Jen, and Lucia. Cool to hop on the phone for a sec.
Oh, I don't.
I was crying on the phone saying, "Am I fired?" I legitimately have mental illness.
And we're screaming, laughing. We're like, you are an Emmy nominee doll. And you are like the heart of the
Wait.
show.
Well,
Actually,
why
what
would we have
was wrong
fired
with
you?
me?
B, in the crazy world we did, why would we have ever just sent you the script?
That is so
crazy.
cruel.
That would be so.
But now you are
But you know,
fired.
that is what happens.
Yeah.
That is what happens in entertainment. You know,
No,
some people aren't
literally.
asked back to SNL. They don't ever hear. You know what
It's
I mean?
Judy
like,
Garland tea down,
Yeah,
like literally.
yeah.
But what I want people to understand for their own like delusional, sort of like delusion and mental illness, it's like that is the power of low self-esteem. Like you will be, and God, thank Baruch Hashem, literally, thank God, I have made my way out of that.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a crazy moment. I legitimately thought I was off the show.
Oh my God.
Oh.
What a
What?
terrible show that would be.
Imagine.
So
No, Ava Daniel.
the table read was a deeply emotional affair. Shall I
Wow.
call it that?
Certainly so.
A lot of weeping and
I
sobbing.
couldn't speak.
I mean, it's hard for me to, I don't even know if this is a fair question, but like, how did you feel about it when you read it or something?
I mean-
something close to that.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, after all this time, like, I just know that y'all aren't going to do me like that. Like, y'all are not going to end the show with pain. Like, so ultimately I'm reading the pain and I'm in pain, but I'm
Yes.
knowing that I'm going to be smiling
Yeah.
because I have to be smiling because I know that y'all are going to have me smiling.
Yeah.
Essentially is how I feel. Like I was right there with Ava, like feeling those emotions, feeling this like betrayal and pain and like this is not her decision to make. She's being selfish. Like this is not just up to her. This impacts all of us and me. And, you know, like I felt completely close to that emotion. I didn't know how she was gonna get her to, you know, talk her out of it. I was expecting that, but I had no idea how you were going to do it.
If you had read it and hated it, what would you have done?
I don't think I just can't even entertain that question. Like I really can't. There's just never been anything wrong with the show.
Hacks apologist.
Yeah, I'm like,
Ava
Justice for
withdraws
Ava
a
Daniels.
small revolver from her bag. She aims it at Deborah. You know, you're like,
She puts her head. By the way, it's like it's a callback to the photo shoot, the variety photo
my
shoot.
God.
But I put the gun down and smile. Bang!
boom, she blows both their brains out. Oh god, the audience would not have liked that.
I don't think
but
they would
Wouldn't
have.
have liked you murdering.
that actually must be scary if you are
Murder
doing the
suey.
finale of a show and it isn't well received. Like what that table read is like. You know,
my
that must be
God.
weird.
Right. If like on Game of Thrones when they would read it and anybody could
Right.
die at any moment and you just get the script and read it in the table read and you're like, I'm dead, I guess.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's crazy.
And for Jean at first, she
Yeah.
thought
like,
she
oh
was.
shit.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. She's
I mean,
like,
I guess we can
"Dang."
say it on the pod that she did get misinformation from someone that was going to happen, and that I
She
think
was
she references in
freaking.
some press she was not happy about. But of course, that wasn't even the plan.
Yeah,
No.
it was
And so once that was
miscommunication.
corrected, I think she understood that it was one of the greatest finales of all time.
Also, you know,
By the way,
to
I'm
be fair,
completely talking like that. Like I'm completely on my hack special
We are too
ever.
now. On
Like
this, we are.
I'm like, come on.
We got to go to Paris for this. That was cool.
Oh, Paris, it's amazing.
Mm.
The best
Yes.
note that I got was I was doing the joke and Paul says of the mic, or Lucia says, Anna, do less good French accent.
Yeah.
I was
You are
like, thank
very good
you
at it.
for
Yeah,
and
it was. It needed to be funnier. Ava doing bad French.
doing bad.
Yeah.
And all the French people sort of gave me my props.
Yeah.
And that
You
helped
do have a really
integrate me into
good-
the French
They
crew.
they gave you a French passport.
They did.
We went to a couple of fun dinners. We had a really nice
we had
time
a
being in Paris together. That was a blast.
We had a lot of good meals and a lot of good hangs.
Yeah.
And it was really nice.
But the last night,
Okay, so what happened the last night?
Oh, yeah.
Basically,
You
the
hit
last
an
night-
emotional wall.
what
that
happened
last
to me,
night.
I can't really describe. I guess I would say the body kept the
Oh,
score.
that night.
If
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had like gun to my
'Cause that
head,
meal
I
was
guess
damn good.
We wrapped out.
I know.
Hannah's coming back to the hotel to potentially change. And I don't see Hannah. I see a crone.
No,
Yeah.
let me tell y'all
Double
something.
down.
White as a ghost.
Yeah,
I did
hunched
see an
over.
apparition
Hunched
float in.
over. Bonjour, Agathe. Agathe was assigned to me to help and assist me in France on the production. She was holding my hand at the car.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was literally worried about me.
So your
Yeah.
just
Something happened
body
to me.
and your brain and your soul kind of just collapsed. Is that what
Yes,
happened?
I got outside the Louvre, the fresh air hit me, and I dissolved. I absolutely got a slamming headache. I was sick to my stomach. I thought I was going to throw up.
Oh, well, Hacks was wrapped.
Hacks was wrapped.
But
I just
Do you
heard
think
that
it
as a
was Ava
series wrap.
Daniels leaving your body?
Oh my God, Ava was fighting to get out.
Ava was
no,
like,
she was fighting to stay in.
oh, she was fighting to stay in.
Oh, no.
That's a little true, and you know
It
it.
I
is
know.
true.
Ava was like literally stirring my guts in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
It was like
no.
Ghostbusters, like, you know, when the thing gets sucked down, she's
Yeah.
trying to
Oh
stay
my
in.
God, I love her.
Paul and Lucia
down.
were exiting the hotel and saw you, and I was in the cab already waiting.
You're like,
when
"What's up with Anna?"
When I saw you, I was just like squinting, being like, something's not right. And when they got in, I was like, is she okay? And they were like, no.
No, she won't be coming to dinner.
She won't be coming to dinner. She's perhaps passing.
I literally was having a petit mort.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I was dying a little bit. And I got into the room and I took a shower. I was like hunched and then I was like sitting in the shower, like kind of almost fetal position. Like I just was like sick. I just got fucking sick. And then I slept for a really, really, really long time and I felt
Nice.
okay in the morning. But literally, there's nothing else to explain what it was.
Yeah, you were done.
But Ava Daniels
Yeah.
was
Wow.
fighting to stay in.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about a couple scenes just because I want to talk about
Yeah, fuck
please.
yeah.
the most emotional parts for me of the episode, if
Yeah.
I may? And we should all go around and say
Please.
our favorite or most emotional parts.
Hmm.
One is Ava at the club.
Mm.
If you've ever had any kind of a psychedelic or trippy experience in any way, and how that can go from euphoric to you're actually in one of Dante's levels of hell in just like a blink.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens to her.
Yeah.
It's just that she's like having fun. This is fun. This is light. And then it dawns on her what is actually happening and how upsetting it is. And it's you do such a beautiful job
Oh my
of
God.
exposing your soul in that moment.
Thank
Your
you.
eyes.
So good.
It's crazy.
It's
Thank you.
crazy.
Thank you,
And
And
guys.
Lucia also brought that to the scene, which was written as you
Yeah.
guys were dancing. And
Yeah.
then Lucia, in directing that scene,
Oh, yeah.
decided that would be the shift that would change the path of the episode,
Mm-hmm.
which was good because we didn't really have one. It was just like you would have the next morning come in with your research.
Right. It makes sense that in that moment is when she's
Yes.
realizing she needs to change course.
Yes.
And Adam Bricker, famously from episode 508 of the pod,
Adam Bricker's king.
really
Yes, see.
killed it with this idea that after the realization, he would be using these like white flicker lights on your face, which are like lightning. It's just one of my favorite lighting choices of his. And, you know, the rate changes once
Yes.
Ava experiences the realization.
Oh,
It's just
God.
like, it's a deeply emotional moment for when I'm watching it. I think for many, many, many reasons, but it's one that like I can never watch it and not feel something very intense.
Yeah.
Also, Ava in the church.
Oh my gosh.
Bitch, don't even fucking play with me. I can't.
Yeah.
That was the part
can't.
I cried the hardest at when I first
Oh
watched the
my
first cut.
God. There was something in 10 that I had to do ADR for, and it was like me crying. And I just was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna like get there in ADR. But I just watched it and I was like, well,
Yeah.
press record.
Yeah.
It was so, I mean, the church is like so painful. And like for all the criticism people had of Ava being like, you know, immature or, you know, like a kid, people really resented like how quote unquote immature they thought she was. It's like she really like that is a moment where she is genuinely accepting something so difficult. Like it is a huge point of growth for her to even just be like, I will support you.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
and
this
that's a
is-
very grown up thing to deal with this.
It's
Yeah.
extreme. Like that is literally such
Life
a
and death.
Yeah. It's such an important moment for her. And it's like classic fucking Deborah the second Ava's down with it. She's like, well, now I don't want to do it.
Oh my God.
The scene in the living room is really heavy, heavy.
It's so intense. And it's intense for
So-
Deborah too.
Yeah.
Ava, honey, please don't.
No, you please! Please don't leave me. Please. I'm sorry.
Doing that scene, I genuinely felt pathetic. Like I've never experienced that when I've been acting before where like I'm crying or something and I'm
Yeah.
hysterical and I'm embarrassed to be seen. But I literally was embarrassed that there were people around me seeing me doing what I was doing. And I think that's just because I was really feeling what Ava was feeling. Like
Yeah.
I really was feeling like totally exposed, completely at her mercy and like just begging, pleading, like just fucking totally opening myself up. And it was so crazy, like how painful that was. But also you guys have been giving me material this season and always that really pushes me to that point. Like the material that y'all gave me this season to do emotionally, even like the Jesse McCartney shit where I'm like, you know, in this room, like surrounded by my people and, you know, it's this touching moment. Like that was the first like dam break for me emotionally. For sure. That day I
Yeah.
was fucking a mess on
Oh.
set.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like my ability to kind of like process the show has weirdly been made possible by the work itself. And yeah, doing that was, you know, Ava's being like, please don't leave me. And, you know, on some level, it's like me like saying that to you guys a little bit,
Oh.
you know,
Yeah.
like, and I know you, and I, it's not the same because you know,
We're here.
we're here.
We're not gonna
we
kill
ain't
not leaving
going.
you.
We ain't
Yeah.
going nowhere.
The other really emotional moment for me is
I may not have 30 years. I think I have another hour.
What are you saying?
Will you help me write it?
Always.
Oh,
Oh God.
it's such a good moment.
Yeah, the way you say always is so sweet.
Thank you.
Aw.
It's so real. Yeah, I mean, that was really crazy. The shoot itself, like on that, it
Mhm.
was such an important moment. And obviously a million like moving pieces, like all the background and the path and the timing and Steadicam and all of these technical things that needed to be executed. But my God, like what a fucking triumph, like just for us all working together, like in synchronicity, delivering at the same time. It's such a credit to I don't know, the really skilled team that we have on this thing, you know? Like, I mean, that's like the kind of rom-com moment, right? Where it's just like, stay,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. Don't get on the plane.
Yeah.
You know, it was supposed to be a tidbit for the listeners in that cafe scene that Deborah revealed her hand size to Ava.
Yeah.
But we moved it, and I think it's really good that we did because you need that laugh after Ava has accepted this destiny and she wants to support Deborah. You really, especially after that long sequence of the club and the living room scene and the church, to have like a laugh.
the windowsill.
So it's so nice to have that.
Your hands are bigger than mine? Are you kidding me this entire time? Are you kidding me? Deborah! I can't believe you never noticed! They're much bigger than mine. They are much bigger! God damn it. I considered hand reduction surgery. That was a good one. I knew they were normal.
I mean, that moment of like, how am I going to do it without you? That's like one of the ones in that episode that's like super personal for me, I think, because I've talked to you about this, Lucia. I think before, like when me and Lucia were in Singapore, you guys were there too.
Yeah. For some of it, I was.
Me and Lucia just like one day we were walking around and we like went to
Is this
go.
when we do our couples massage day?
HR is taking notes.
Y'all aren't
They are
getting us.
right.
How many times do I have to say it? We got away. Free, bitch.
Okay.
Bitch or sir, but I said to Lucia, like I was about to go do Jane's movie, and Hacks is my only gig, and I was like, I don't know if I can do it without you. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like do another project. Like, what if I'm only good because you guys make me good? And she just kind of reassured me and was like, that's not true, girl. Like, you got this. Like, bitch, you got this, bitch. But like, I really called upon that moment. You know what I mean? Like, I totally get Ava being like, how am I going to do this without you? Because like, it's like, and then like Deborah like kind of sets her free and like reminds her who the fuck she is. And I feel like you guys have supported me and like helped me to become who I am in like so many ways, like in every way, And so that was extremely, especially the dialogue, like, and we didn't even really discuss that. Y'all wrote it and that's what it was. But I just like kind of found that thing in it. And it was really moving,
We pitched the final episode
Yeah.
when we pitched the show.
Oh my God.
And obviously things did evolve and things did get adjusted. But essentially we knew that Deborah was going to have this diagnosis and want to call her own light. She was going to want to go to Dignitas and ask Ava to go with her. So all of that remained the same. We even had the song over a year, maybe 2 years ago. We knew we wanted to end it with the song, and we got the song cleared. Again,
Happy
thank
days.
you, Barbara. And that song, in the end, Happy Days Are Here Again, is so, to me, so perfect because it's so emotional. It's a duet between these two women. It's kind of a passing of the baton.
Yeah.
Judy was like a showbiz veteran who went through so much, and it was so hard, and kept getting back up and falling down and getting back up. And then
Barbara was Jewish.
Barbara was Jewish. And so it's just like, it was really like, it just feels like such a perfect, it's just so them. The thing that I love about the ending is like, these two are back in Las Vegas, laughing together, and they get to live on in our in our minds, in our imaginations. And so, I don't know. It's a very hopeful and uplifting ending. Film is forever. We can watch them again and again and again.
I mean,
As long as they're not taken off the platform, we continue to watch them. That story we can replay.
they are erasing me.
Hopefully they don't.
This season, I spent so much more time standing at Adam's cart watching the show.
Yeah.
Like Adam has an iPad with the show on loop.
We
on
talked about it.
silent.
Yeah.
Yes. So they know. And I'm watching that thing. I'm going, this shit is freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, hell yeah,
Yeah.
I love that shit. Like, I just haven't sat down and watched like
Of
season
course, yeah.
1 in like, since I saw it.
I do want to now talk about Jimmy and Caleb.
Sure.
Yes. Oh my God.
These two.
Wow.
What a
These
journey.
two. What a journey.
Okay,
Succession. Take over the company.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
This wasn't part of the initial pitch necessarily that they take over Latitude, but we have been aiming towards it kind of since they left. I think we kind of were like, we want there to be some kind of
Comeuppance,
return
yeah.
and comeuppance. And so as we were kind of figuring out the mechanics of it, it started to feel like, part of, I think, what we say so much of towards the end of the season is like, life is brutal. So when you can find joy and you can find happiness, you really have to like glom onto it.
Grab it by the balls.
Yes. And I think for Jimmy and Kayla, we know that they're better together, much like Deborah and Ava. They are their own kind of better together little duo.
Yes.
But we also kind of want there to be, whether it's fantasy or not, we want to kind of create a model for like, they can survive in this business as good people. But we really do believe that like when people help platform good stories and good storytellers and fresh voices, and that is what, good representation does, that like that is really valuable.
Yeah.
And that hopefully model can exist. And we believe that Jimmy and Kayla can lead that charge.
And so we're thinking about opening an actual agency to try and get this done.
Paul, would you be willing to talk about your last scene, your experience of shooting the last scene at Latitude?
Sure. Well, I can tell you about a couple. The last scene I do with Meg first is it was like so sweet when Kayla says,
Jimmy, help!
What's going on? Are you okay?
I really shouldn't be in there. The corner office is so small, I can't even breathe. I think there's asbestos or something in there, like itchy, and it's really like claustrophobic.
It's the largest office in the building.
It's just not gonna work. Plus, for our workflow, I need to be able to see you, and you need to be able to see me, so I'll take my old desk.
that to me is really touching.
It's really
and Jimmy's like, oh,
sweet.
you should.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
I want to see you too. And it's so sweet for her to be there.
Oh my God.
So I love that. And that was, it wasn't Meg's last day, but she was pretty emotional after that.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then I shoot the phone call with Ava. And thank you to Hannah for doing the scene with me because it's so easy to be in it when you're in it.
Oh my God. I feel that way about you, Paul.
Oh
you
my
make me
God. It's
such
like-
a better actor.
Oh, ditto.
Like
You make
literally,
me
I'm
such a
like,
better
this
actor.
guy couldn't be more natural.
That's the first time that I get emotional watching the episode is the phone call because Ava's so upset. She's just heard this news from Deborah. She calls Jimmy. He already knows it. It's like so hard.
Try and make it a good trip.
A good trip? How could a suicide-themed vacation be good? She's gonna die.
We're all gonna die. The whole point is to try and enjoy the time we have together.
To me, that phone call makes me.
That one, when you say we're all going to die, but the point is to have fun while we're still here, that is really intense because it's true. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's going to be a really hard part of, I think people, well, I mean, for me, it would be really hard if I was just watching the episode because I am like, it's almost like breaking the fourth wall or
Yeah,
something.
I
No,
know.
literally.
It's, that is.
And shooting that, you were really not you were not able to get that fucking line out without
It's
crying.
hard because it is true, and it's a hard thing to take in.
And how
you
lucky
know?
are we that while we are all here on planet E, we get to be together for so much of it, and that we've been able to be together for so much of the last 6 years.
It's unbelievable, you guys. It literally is. Like, I feel so incredibly lucky. I can't even believe it. Like, fuck my healthcare, literally fuck my like career, whatever. Like I can't even believe I had a life before I knew you guys. Like I actually don't even know what that would even be like.
I mean, we would make the show forever. We really would. We really, really would. If it could possibly exist in its current form, and if we were still allowed to do it, we would do it forever.
I think that's the thing. When we pitched the show and we pitched the final episode, that was one cool thing. It wasn't plotted like a sitcom where characters don't change and they do the same thing over and over and over. We were like, no, this is a relationship between two women and they are changed so much.
Right.
And we described the change in the pitch. So once you get there, I mean, of course, we could figure it out. We could figure out new challenges, new things to do. But it did feel like this was the culmination of that.
Right.
change.
There's not a lot of growth left for the characters.
That's right.
Unless they backslide a ton. And again, how many times can you backslide and blow things up? And how many times can this woman betray you? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
The pitch for the movie
Okay, here we
that
go.
you guys came when you came to JAR and pitched to us.
Oh yeah.
That
yeah.
thing.
one that then was then this was so funny. We got to say this.
This was like
It was
3
met with
weeks,
some
2 or
resistance at
3
first.
weeks ago.
I would say that Jen was like, "Oh my God, we're not." Doing it anymore."
Oh God.
But then, let's be honest. 10 minutes in, 20 minutes
pitching on
later,
it.
Jen's going, "Well, you know what would be good?"
Yes!
And then Jen was
She
pitching,
was.
and she's
Yes.
pitching
Is that true, Jen?
the heart
It
of the
is
new
true.
thing.
You
Yeah.
came and you were like, "We have an idea
Season
for a
6.
movie," and I was like, "Guys, it's over. Let's order appetizers. Stop." And then I was like, "Well, here's one buck."
And
could
then
be
she made
funny.
it better, and now it's gotta have
now-
no.
I'm
no,
telling
But
no.
you.
we can't talk about it. 'cause-
We can't talk about it, but just so the nation knows, we have the movie.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, no, I don't see. I'm sorry to bum people out. I don't see it very likely to happen. But you know,
have the movie,
maybe
girls. I'm gonna
one
work
day
on it.
we can write a version of the movie and do a live reading
Now
for
that would be
a
great.
fundraiser.
live
That's
table read
so
for a fundraiser.
Yeah.
For the LA City Council person that's filming, you know who that is.
Or we'll just be performing it
Wait,
so that
then
they don't
should
like
we
end us in the
tell-
gulag
Should
or
we tell
whatever.
it if we're not going to do it?
I don't know.
Let's see. You
Don't
don't know
tell
how
it.
bad things are going to go for our career.
Yeah.
LP.
You might have to come back.
We might have to do it.
Yeah, you never
So
know.
you
But
never know.
But I think the truth is, Paul and Jen and I, and I'm sure you too, Hannah, will
Yeah.
always experience things in life and think that's a good hack story. So like
Oh, we will always do
we
that, yeah.
always will. And in all likelihood, you know, as if you're a real podhead here, you know the truth, which is that Paul and Jen and I will write jokes to each other and the subject is jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do subject jokes hacks, and then we'll email each other ideas, and we're going to continue. To do
Oh,
that
I
for-
had one. I had one this morning. I
What is
searched
it?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, you can tell
us.
us.
Oh, that someone has a medium that they speak
Oh.
to writers through. So they're like, I'm developing with Ernest Hemingway.
Oh,
And they're like, my medium
That's
speaks.
so
So you,
funny.
Jimmy, would be like, oh, I'm representing this she's in development with Ernest Hemingway. What do you mean? Well, she has a medium that speaks to him.
that's
yeah,
really
that's
good.
really
Oh.
funny.
We'd
my
love
God.
to set a
That's
time
really
for you
good.
and Ernest and Katie to sit
Yeah.
down.
We're doing a Catcher in the Rye sequel.
Yeah, we
Actually,
have JD. Yeah.
JD is actually involved.
JD's
He is
really
involved.
excited.
Hannah, you should email us when you have a hacks idea. We'll always continue to have hacks
Yes.
in our hearts, in our brains, in our emails, in our inboxes.
Yes.
As we talk so much about this death, and as we end this pod,
Yeah.
Paul and Jen and I are going tomorrow
Oh, yeah.
to go out of town to do a research trip for our next
That's pretty
project.
cool. That is making me happy.
And I think
even though I'm so busy,
there is.
it is making me really happy. It is making me happy.
We're going on this trip tomorrow, and that is cool. That's exciting. It's exciting that
exciting.
there's like something new gestating, if only to help
Ease the
Actors
ease
work.
the
Oh, oh, oh.
sadness.
ease the sadness. As I said on last week's pod, this is like breaking up with a soulmate, and it's like really hard because you know you're going to go date other people and see other people, and that'll probably never be the same.
But you know you have to do it.
But you know you have to try to move on the best you can. You have to
God.
spend time with friends. You have to try to, you know, go exercise, spend time in nature.
Oh my
You have to
God.
just do the regular things that you do when you break up with somebody you know you can't be with anymore for whatever reason.
Oh my
And it's
God.
really, really, really hard. And I'm going through that. I mean, luckily I'm here with 3 soulmates, so it's okay. but this work and this
Yeah.
has been that is that. So it's nice to the idea is that kind of we're going on a date tomorrow
Oh, we
with
are.
somebody cool.
Yes, we're
Don't
doing
say
that.
that in front of me.
I'm
both
so
wrong. You're both
sorry.
wrong.
But I think we will work
With
together.
somebody cool.
You're also
No,
both
no,
wrong.
not, I don't mean an
So
actress.
San
No, not an actress.
Francisco-
Not an
It's
actress.
not an actress. We're going to go research.
By the way,
No, they're going on a date
Let
with
me
me.
just
They're
speak
going
to
on a date with
whoever
me.
you work with next directly. I'm talking into the mic.
Oh.
Hi.
Well,
Hi.
okay,
What do you have to say to them?
but Miss, Miss,
never have this. Hey, sweetie. Look at me, okay? Look at me in the eyes. You're not gonna make them laugh the way I do. Oh yeah. Oh, really fun to work with them. Super fun on set. Yeah, it's never gonna be the way it is. So just don't even try. By the way, my head's actually getting hot.
Yeah, I know.
You're getting upset.
Ha ha. I'm doing a bit, but actually my body's keeping the score. My head is red as a damn
LOL.
girl.
Okay.
Hannah's seeing a photo on set of some actress in my lap.
Oh
she's
no.
freaking out. She's freaking out. Well,
This is hard. Okay, Meg's been doing this too. Meg has been picturing me in another duo, and she's like, "I will kill her. I will be so pissed. I'll be so jealous."
She said, "I'm getting a gun."
No, literally. It's
she's
so funny.
She's really not.
She's getting a
she's
D-word.
like, you can do anything on your own. You can do anything solo. You can do anything. But she's like, you can't do a duo thing. or I
Oh
will
my
freak
God.
out.
Yeah,
that
I
is
get that.
so
I get
funny,
that.
and I totally get it.
I mean, Hannah, you weren't sitting at home just not doing anything in between hack seasons.
No,
You
you
do.
make movies.
The dear
Baby.
listeners of this pod who miss Ava Daniels dearly
Yes.
can see some movies that you're in.
It's actually true.
Why
It's
don't you
actually
promote them
true.
right now?
Why don't you promote them
Okay.
right now? Why don't you tell these grieving poor souls, these widows, why don't you give them something to live for? Go tell them
Yeah.
what they
What
can
do you
see you
do?
in.
I'm doing. I
Anything
have
Girls.
psychosexual with anything psychosexual with an older woman?
Yeah, anything that could possibly fill
the
that
hole.
hole.
couple holes, but yeah, I am doing. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see me in another mature blonde. But this time it's what you've been asking for.
That's great.
Yeah,
And that is called
Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. Yeah.
Great. Fabulous.
But yeah.
Well, we're barreling towards the end of the podcast here.
Yeah.
So this is our last time to say something direct
Our
to
final remarks,
our final remarks
final
to the
remarks.
our
listener.
closing statements, our Judge Judy style closing statements.
Well, what do we have to say?
You know, I think that the fans, I guess the Hacks community members, I would like to call them,
Accionistas.
yes,
the Hacksonistas, if you will, and I will. And I just did
bitches and sirs.
say that.
Gays who read.
Little Debbie's. I know, because I have a phone, that you all are just as moved and connected to and by this story as we are. And I know that you guys all feel as much for these characters as we do. So I know what this time probably feels like. And I just want to say that we will always have this. And it was such an honor to experience this with you all. And the experience of making the show and making each other laugh has been the best thing ever. And knowing that then that has a ripple effect. And there are all these people out there who get to laugh with us. Like, I feel so connected by that. And I just want to say thank you to our community members for uplifting it and
Yeah.
seeing it and seeing us through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I so agree.
It is
Yeah.
true.
It is true. And, Paul and Lucia and I have worked on a bunch of things and worked on things that never saw the light of day.
What a
and
tragedy.
And it's not, when this show came out, it's not the easiest sell in the world. It's not based on IP. It's not.
I was no one.
Yeah, Hannah was working at Alfred Tea Room, and
A boomer and a ginger? I don't
and
know.
there was
I
no
don't know.
there
Could
was
you be
no
blonde too?
murder, and there was no, there was it wasn't necessarily
There was no murder, right? Okay,
yeah, we owe so much to the people season 1 and who stayed with it throughout, who like
Yeah.
Hannah said, is part of the community and supported it. And it's not lost on us that without that word of mouth and without people talking about it and giving it that attention at the beginning, it wasn't an automatic sell. It wasn't an automatic like green light to stay on. And the fact that we got to tell it the way we wanted to and do it over 5 seasons is incredible. And we're so lucky and we're so grateful. And without people sparking to it and telling a friend and telling other people to watch, that wouldn't have happened. So yeah, what Hannah said is exactly right. We are incredibly, incredibly grateful to the fans.
It's been a joy.
It's been a joy.
Do-do-do.
Such a good way to end.
That's it for this episode, this season, and this show.
Oh.
This has been the official Hacks podcast with Lucia Aniello, Paul W. Downs, and me, Jen Statsky. The Hacks podcast is produced by HBO Max in collaboration with Same Boat Studios.
Our executive producers are Gabrielle Lewis and Barry Finkel. Our senior producer is Emmanuel Hapsis. This show is mixed by Hannes Brown, and our technical director is In-Sung Huang. Special thanks to Michael Gluckstadt, Allison Cohen-Sorokach, and Kenya Reyes from the HBO Max podcast team.
You can watch all of Hacks on HBO Max, and you can always go back and re-listen to all of our previous podcast episodes after you rewatch the entire series, and then you can start it all over again. We never have to end this relationship, guys. We're always just one click away. We'll miss you. We love you. Goodbye.
See you soon.
I'm still Deborah Vance. Good night. Thank you so much to the listeners. God, we love you guys.
We love you.
If you're
love
feeling
you.
sad, just know we are too.
We are
Yeah.
with you.
Maybe that
You
can
are
make
not
feel better.
alone.
You are not alone. This
And
was
you can
real.
always
This was
rewatch.
real.
This was real.
It is
It
real.
is real.
It is
It
real.
is real.
And that's
It
the
is
thing.
real.
It can continue on.
So get those
And
tattoos.
at least in our minds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Should we I'm trying to make the podcast longer. Everybody.
They're crashing their cars.
I know.
Over bridges. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it, don't do
No,
it. But
Cats
Jen-
everywhere are
You know
howling
what?
and
We're gonna
jumping
work
out
with
windows.
Hannah again.
Yes.
So don't
Yes,
worry.
we're
We'll
gonna.
figure it
Don't
out.
worry.
We're
This
gonna
isn't
do
the end.
another
This is see you
thing.
later.
It's
Yes.
literally
See you later.
we're gonna
See
do
you
another
real
thing.
soon.
I told them I want to play a villain.
A villain?
Villian.
A villain.
Villain.
I want to play a villain. Okay, I love you.
Love you too.
Okay, goodbye, girls. We'll see you
Bye.
soon. And when I say girls, I obviously mean everybody. It's a term that is completely expansive.
Mm-hmm.
It's been nice knowing you.
We love you.
We love you. We'll see you really soon.
Take care of yourselves.
Are you talking to the girls listening or us?
The girls listening.
Okay,
I'm gonna
yes.
see you guys tomorrow.
That's right. That's right.
Seeing y'all tomorrow.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Excited about it.
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah, we love you.
we love you.
And love is love.
Oh, that's a
To
great way
love,
to go
you know
out.
what?
Go
Wait,
out.
I didn't know this was a TikTok thing, I guess, but Meg said it. To be loved is to be changed.
Oh my god,
That's very
gorgeous.
that is so hacks. I
know.
have been changed.
And you have.
You have.
Beautiful.
You know, we were asked to do a clean outro, just so
Yeah.
everyone knows.
Yeah.
This was our version of that.
Yeah.
We literally were asked to do a clean outro. We decided to do this, and this has to be it because it's just not possible for us to do it clean.
Can you tell none of us want to leave?
We
and
don't
can you
wanna
can you see,
go.
dear listener, it's never gonna end.
It's just never gonna
It
end.
really will never end. The energy that is hacks will never end. It is energy. And that energy, there it goes.
Once
This goes on
matter has
forever.
been created, it cannot be destroyed.
Yeah.
And keep your eye out for HacksCon. Just kidding.
I do want to write an hour for
And the
Deborah.
Hacks Cruise.
I want to
and-
write. I want to write an hour for Deborah. I want you as
The opening
Hannah
act.
Einbinder to open.
Oh, that's good.
I want